What up, YouTube? J-Roll at 2K3 here. Another Benchtop review. Rock River Arms Tactical Operator 2. First and foremost, let's go ahead and we'll make this thing safe. Okay, good to go. So, I'm going to do a quick little review here for you. I picked this guy up this weekend. I should say this past Wednesday, to be exact. Rock River Arms Tactical Operator 2. I've seen on YouTube a few guys have posted up guns, the Rock River Arms, talking a little bit about them, but not really going into depth as far as what you get with the Tactical Operator 2 differences and things like that. So if you were to go on Rock River Arms website, they list a lot of guns. They're running a special on kind of their tactical operators. They've got, I believe, 1 and 2, and then there's another one that's kind of more aimed at like a sniper type rifle. This is the more upgraded of the three things that you're going to get. Chrome bolt carrier, chrome bolt, chrome firing pin. 2-stage trigger with the winter glove relief in the trigger guard. You know, a lot of extra room in there. You are going to get a specific to this model muzzle brake, and you are going to get what they call a heavy barrel, which is going to be a 1-in-9 twist chrome polyline barrel. Their claim is, you know, more rounds, less wear, that kind of thing. So, first impressions of this gun. I put right about 400 rounds through it this past weekend. I absolutely love it. If I can give you a visual on this trigger pull, this is the second video I'm making because the other one I was way high on everything as far as my view is concerned. There's your slack. There's the trigger pull. Hopefully you got that. So you've got about 1/8 of an inch total. Guys, I have shot 5 or 6 different AR platforms. I had a M&P 1522, you know, trainer that I was running for about the last year before I unloaded that to a buddy of mine. I have never felt a trigger like this in an AR before. Now, I know they're out there. You guys are going to correct me and tell me they're super common, and that's totally fine. I'm not a newbie when it comes to guns, but, you know, I am newer, especially to the AR platform. The trigger in this thing is phenomenal. It's precise. You know when it's going to break. There's no guessing. Some people will tell you not knowing where the trigger is going to break is a good thing. I don't like it that way. I've had work done on all the triggers in my guns just for the fact that I want to know when they're going to break. That way I can be, you know, more precise. I know that's opposite thinking according to what some things will tell you, but the trigger's great. Take my word for it. Give one a run if you're at a local gun shop that has a range. You will fall in love. So, as far as this gun is concerned, the one thing that I can tell you, based on the shop owner where I purchased this gun, I got this gun at a place called Bear Arms in Windsor, Colorado. I'll put up their website address. Great shop. I was actually just recently introduced to them through a buddy. They're a small shop. They probably have, you know, 300 guns in stock, so they're not tiny. I'm just talking rifles. I mean, you know, they've got tons of handguns and everything else. The guy Gary there is the owner, young guy in his mid to late 30s. I mean, he gets it. You know, he's like you and I. He likes ARs. He likes SBRs. You know, he's not a door kicker. Neither you or I are, for the most part. I mean, some of you guys probably are spec ops guys, I would assume, but us normal guys who like to shoot cool guns, Gary really gets it there. So things that I have added to this gun, with the RRA Tac Operator 2, you will get an ergo grip from the factory or with the gun. It will not be a flat dark earth. It'll be a black. Everything on this gun stock is black. I've added all the flat dark earth stuff just because A, I'm a mag pull whore, and B, I wanted a contrasting look. So we'll start at the back. Magpul MOE stock. This is not what comes on this gun. This gun has a really nice cheek welded commercial spec, we'll go into that, stock. It's a great stock, but it's not black. I wanted black, or it is black. I wanted flat dark earth. So Magpul MOE, they're cheap. I got it for 55 bucks locally. I like the look. I like this triangle look with the opening in the middle. Whatever, you know, it is what it is. Okay, moving forward from there, Magpul ASAP ambidextrous sling attachment system, I believe is what that stands for. At any rate, Rock River Arms guys, if you're looking to add one of these, let me give you a little tech tip here. Rock River thought it would be a cute idea to throw some blue Loctite on their castle nut. From what I've read, that is specific only to Rock River Arms. Everybody else, you know, puts theirs on, just locks them in tight, or there's a way they anchor these things. I can't off the top of my head remember what it's called, but you know, they lock them in on top. Anyhow, hair dryer, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, somewhere in there. You know, torch if you got it, whatever. I was at home. I don't have all of my tools here. Some of them are at the shop. So I used the girl's hair dryer. I split the upper and the lower, laid a towel over my Ergo grip just because I didn't want to take a chance of melting it, although a hair dryer probably wouldn't do it. Sat the hair dryer literally right on top of that castle nut for 10 minutes. Guys, I'm 210 pounds. I'm not small. And I laid on this thing with my Rock River Arms castle nut wrench specific to this gun. I know, they're all universal, but I went to the trouble to get the special wrench just from Rock River Arms. I couldn't budge it. I mean, not 1/8 of an inch. I can break loose freaking lugs on a semi-truck, but I couldn't break loose this castle nut. 10 minutes with the hair dryer on there, the blue Loctite broke loose and it came right off. So if you want to put a sling attachment on, whatever, that's how you're going to do it. Other thing that I want to talk to you about while we're looking at the buffer tube. Non-mil-spec commercial buffer tube on the Rock River Arms. Hopefully I'm in the right spot so you guys can see that. That angle on the back of there is really, I mean, unless you get out your, you know, your micrometer or whatever and measure the diameter of this, that's the only way you're going to be able to tell. So if you want to change stocks and things like that, commercial, you know, aftermarket, whatever you want to call the non-mil-spec buffer tube is what you're going to be after. Now I've read and I know from experience from my M&P 1522 that you can put a mil-spec stock on a non-mil-spec buffer tube. You will have a little play in there, but you know what? Magpul part, commercial buffer tube, and a commercial stock, and there's play in it. So, you know, whatever, it is what it is. Moving forward from there, I've added the flat dark earth Ergo grip. Man, these things are the tits. I had not had a whole lot of exposure to them prior to buying this gun. Comes with a black one. Just wanted to stick with that, you know, two-tone thing. These are great grips. They have a little storage, if you want to call it that, in the bottom of them. I don't know what you're going to put in there. Maybe some batteries. I'll be honest, mine kept opening at the range, so I'm probably going to end up gluing mine closed. Two-stage trigger, I showed you that. Then the winter trigger guard. Chrome bolt carrier, chrome bolt, talked about that stuff. EOTech 512. So I bought this when I bought the gun. It was actually on the gun when I picked it up in the store. They had this exact rifle out as kind of a demo, I guess you would call it. I've got a buddy that you know, was trying to keep me away from the EOTech 512. I guess the claim being, and from what I've read, that you know, it's even something that EOTech is aware of. The springs inside the battery covers can, over time, loosen up and give you some issues, especially in higher recoil guns. Now, obviously, 5.56 or 2.23, whatever you want to consider this platform, not a lot of recoil, but there's enough. I'm not super concerned. The EOTechs, I believe, are going to have a 3-year warranty. It's 2 or 3 year. I can't remember exactly what the manual said, and I'm sure that EOTech, being, you know, an awesome American company, is going to stand by their product. So I'm not overly concerned about the quote-unquote battery-related issues. Coming forward, Magpul XT Flat Dark Earth hand grips on the side, or rail covers, whatever you want to call them. Magpul ladder rail covers on the top. I picked these up today, a few hours ago, just as a matter of fact. You know, being the Magpul whore that I am, Chris Costa ran a gun just like this in Tactical Carbine 1, I believe it was, and I've wanted to build one just like that ever since. So I picked these up because of that. These were on the side before. They're both really comfortable. These will give you a little more feedback grip-wise, and they look cool. So whatever, call me a Magpul whore, I don't care. AFG2 on the front. I've always ran AFGs on any of the tactical rifles I've had. If you've never handled one, concept, and I hope I can stay in range of the camera here. Concept being, you want this type of connection to your gun, stiff left arm. Now, say what you will, everybody shoots a little different, but that's where your AFG comes in. A lot of guys are back here on the mags. I'll tell you, that's the wrong place to be. AFG2, theory-based products that Magpul produces. That's what they're all about. So the other cool part about this particular gun, full free-floating rail. Okay, we'll go into that a little more. Flip up front battle sight, pretty ugly. I'm gonna call a spade on this one, but it is actually part of the entire gas block assembly. I'm gonna do some work on this section. I've already depinned and removed. These guys come with 1, 2, 3 stock sling attachment points with these kind of sling, attachments. So those are okay, I guess. I'm not a fan of them for a couple of reasons. Number one, this area on this particular rifle is already full of things. You add a bunch of moving junk to it, and then it's even fuller. On top of that, they're very noisy. They clank. They make a lot of racket. I want a rifle that doesn't make a lot of noise. The only noise you're currently hearing is that, and my sling attachment. So I don't want a bunch of stuff jingling around. Okay. I also put on today the Magpul rail sling attachment. RSA, I believe is the acronym they use. These can be mounted anywhere. I have it mounted here currently. It'll probably end up either forward or on top. I do have Magpul in-bus backup sights coming, so those will be flat dark earth as well. That will pretty much complete everything that I plan on purchasing for the weapon. When I was talking earlier about the floating rail, I wanted to get in a little bit to the cheaper, lower end firearms. Let's say, and guys, if you own them, don't take offense to this. I looked at them really deeply, as well. DPMS Panther arms, you can get a rifle out of those guys. AR platform for $600. I know you can get into some double star stuff for about the same. You know what? Everybody makes an entry-level rifle. I shouldn't say everybody, but a lot of your companies are going to make an entry-level $600 rifle, and that was the rifle I was shopping for. As I mentioned earlier, I've been running an M&P 1522 little plinker just to get used to the platform and the operation of it. My fiance shoots. I wanted to get her into rifles and get her something that was, the platform, but not intimidating, that she could shoot. She loved it. I ended up selling that off to a fellow YouTuber and buddy of mine that I work with. And now he's got it and he loves it. I decked the thing out. I had 550 in the rifle. I probably put another 250 in it, and I think I sold it to him for like $450 or $400. So mashed potato Dane, you got a hell of a deal on a rifle. Anyway, moving forward, I wanted to bring up those cheaper rifles because that's what I was shopping for. I've got a lot of friends that shoot, and I've got one guy who I take a lot of what he says to heart, and he told me, hey, if you want a rifle to go out and plink with, spend $600, you'll be fine. But if you want a rifle that's going to be something that's going to last, something that's you're going to keep for a while, spend a little more money. So I told you that story to tell you this story. This rifle out the door from Rock River Arms on their website right now is $1,000. You add some shipping in there, an FFA transfer fee. Let's say you're at $1,100. I got this rifle locally for $1,050. Just the rifle itself, not the Magpul stuff, not the EOTech, you know, basically just the rifle. Okay, what did I get for that? I got an upper that is made by, I hope you guys can see this, there is a little key slot on there. I don't know who makes that upper. My dealer told me, actually not only did he tell me, but he showed me 4 different brand rifles that had that keyhole as their insignia on the upper. I don't know who makes them. I don't particularly care who makes them. But the only part of this actual gun that Rock River produces, as far as I've been told, is the lower section, which is fine. I don't care. But you know, I'm telling you that stuff because there's very few guns, I mean, you know, without spending $1,500 to $2,500, that are going to be completely made by the company you're buying them from anyway. For example, Panasonic makes most of the CD drives and most of the car stereos out there. Bet you didn't know that. So, with keeping that in mind, you can get a rifle for a good price, let's call it $1,000, and have a lot of advantages. Chrome bolt carrier, chrome bolt, chrome firing pin, full floating rail, 2-stage trigger, glove trigger guard, ergo grip, okay, all nice stuff. Chrome line barrel, 1-in-9 twist, cross between your pencil barrel and your heavy barrel. I think it's closer to the heavy barrel. By the way, guys, this gun weighs right about 9 pounds in the current configuration. Everything you see here loaded. So it's not light. My M&P 1522 loaded probably weighed somewhere in the 6-pound range. So this is a full third heavier, but you know, it's also much more of a weapon. So anyhow, the point I want to make here is you can go spend $600 on a DPMS or a double star or, you know, whatever the heck you want. By the time you start adding these things in to make that a longevity rifle or a rifle that you're going to have for a while, you're going to quickly creep into that $1,000 range anyway. Full float rails, anything worth buying, guys, is going to be $200. You can spend less. I know you can. I have. But Daniel Defense, that's a good rail. I think $225. So let's just call it $225, okay? So now that DPMS that was let's call it $600, is now $825, okay? 2-stage trigger, $125 to $150, depending on where you get it. And if you don't install it yourself, you're going to spend some more there. Let's call it $950, just for the hell of it. The trigger guard's $25, $975. Ergo grip's another $25. We're at $1,000, okay? And you still have no really good internal stuff. It's going to be all that stock DPMS or, you know, whatever. So, guys, the point I'm making is you can buy a cheap rifle and you can spend money building the thing to a nicer rifle, or you could go with something like a Rock River Arms. I'm not a Rock River Arms dealer. I don't sell the freaking things. I'm just really happy with my purchase on my rifle. I looked at no less than 40 guns. I held them. I felt the action. I pulled the triggers. I cycled them. I looked at piston-driven guns. I looked at gas-driven. If you didn't pick up already, obviously this is a gas-driven machine. Your gas block's going to be all in here. You get a little piece of Picatinny up front below the sight. Anyhow, I looked at an Adcore, or I don't remember what the hell it was, a really nice gun. It was piston driven, but you know what, guys, we don't want to carry ugly crap around. It was an ugly gun. It was piston driven. It was $15.95, I think. Didn't have a sight on it. Had the cheapest plastic stock you've ever seen, the cheapest pistol grip. Came with, you know, just your GI mags. I mean, it was. You're buying the rifle, and I get that, and I can understand and I can appreciate well-made parts, but, you know, I need something more than just the internal stuff to look good. You know, whatever. It is what it is. Not all of us are that way. But I guess what I'm telling you is Rock River Arms Operator, Tactical Operator 2, for $10.50, $1,000, somewhere in there. You really can't go wrong. Give you a show on this side here. That's what you're looking at. On the back end, they've got the Picatinny stuff, all labeled T2, T4. Get the Rock River Arms insignia there. Great gun, guys. I run pretty much exclusively Magpul P-Mags with the Ranger grip on the bottom, or the Ranger clip, whatever you want to call it. That kind of completes the look of my weapon system. 400 rounds through it this past weekend. I didn't have one misfeed, I didn't have one failure to fire, I didn't have one failure to extract, I didn't have one problem. The only problem that I had was I didn't have enough ammunition to shoot more because it was so awesome. The 2-stage trigger is the tits, the cat's ass, the bee's knees. It's the coolest thing I have shot in a long time, and I'm really happy that I got that option. So, Rock River Arms Tactical Operator 2, there you go guys, benchtop review, great gun. Completely accessorizable because you got your quad rail. You don't need to put a lot of money into it initially if you don't want to. I just said the hell with it, ran the credit card up and added the stuff I wanted to it. But right out of the box, great shooting gun, accurate. I slapped the EOTech on, didn't even really mess with it. 25 yards, it was, I mean, I would say within a half an inch of what it should have been. I adjusted it a little bit after about 50 rounds, but really great machine. If you guys have any questions, feel free to post them in the comment section. I'll get to them. You know, don't take everything I have to say as fact. This is fully opinionated. You guys may think my gun sucks, and that's completely cool. You know, don't think that I'm bashing the Rock River Arms or the DPMS and the Double Star stuff. I've got buddies that own both of them, and they shoot fine. And for the majority of us, you know, 25-pound overweight wannabe tack guys, all of those guns are going to be fine. Mine's no exception. I'm not a guy that needs to, you know, go out and spend $2,500 or $3,000 on a weapon, you know, to feel like I can sleep well at night. $1,000 bucks, I think, with all the crap I've added on and ammunition, I'm at about 16 on this thing right now. So when you consider the gun was $1,000 and the sight was $1,400, that's not too bad. So there you go, guys. Rock River Arms, RRA Tactical Operator 2.